Good morning, Facebook family and friends. Recie Myers here.
Good morning, and I'm Roland.
I'm better known as Recie. Anyway, we made it this morning. It was really a challenge trying to get here. Let me just turn it around and show you where we've been trying to get all week, last week. Okay. Can you see that water fountain? See, and around the winter months, they changed the light bulbs on there. Good morning, Cherie. They changed the light bulbs to the Christmas colors, and not just for Christmas, but other times during the year. And it's lit with the beautiful colors, and it's gorgeous. You might be able to hear some of the sounds from the fountain. But this park, this is where the Canadian geese come and they hang out. There are a whole bunch of them over there by the little community house. Anyway, so let me just go ahead, turn back around. So this morning, I've been talking about mindset for like maybe a week and a half, but this morning I decided, you know what, I'm going to go ahead and tell you all, and I'm really excited to share this. Now that Roland and I are retired, and I've always wanted to be able to make an impact in my sphere, in the lives of people who I see every day, and just people in general. I feel there's a lot that I have that I can contribute. And so I knew I wanted to own my own business, but didn't exactly know how to go about it. And so I've been learning a lot from MLSP, how to brand yourself. So as I was thinking about how I can impact the world positively, I thought about others who are close to where Roland and I are. We are part of the baby boomers, and there's still some baby boomers who are still working. And the way how society is going, many employers are now moving away from pension plans and 401ks. A lot of them are. And so they're only offering a lot of part-time work. And so some families, some people have to work 2 and 3 jobs part-time because the employers don't want them to work like the full 40 hours. So they don't have any retirement plans. Oh my goodness, it's going to be a big old mess. And it's heading in that direction. So I started thinking, how can someone prepare for retirement?
And not only that, all this traffic.
Oh, I know.
People are not staying on the jobs, a long time like they used to be. Everybody's, jumping around.
That's right.
That can mess up your retirement too.
Yeah, I know of some people who they move from one state to work in another state. And especially like military folk, they're going to be okay because maybe the spouse is working and Uncle Sam's got their back. But like for teachers, they move from one state, work 5-10 years there, move to another state, and wherever they've moved, they've not lived in that state or worked on that job long enough to be able to retire with their full benefits. And so and especially if they didn't make arrangements. In fact, studies show that only, what was it? I wrote it down. Only 32% of Americans today have even consulted with a financial planner concerning retirement. And then only 40% have their actual, a comprehensive retirement plan. So that made me think, oh my goodness, that's not even 50%. So what are people going to do? Is it too late to retire? Well,
there's something I got to give kudos about the school system that we work for. Early on, they had financial planners there at staff meetings, talking about annuities and other vehicles, trying to get people to think about retirement and putting stuff away. So that's something that I know our school system was pretty good about. I'm not sure what the other school systems are like, but they probably had the same thing.
Yeah, so I just want to say, you're never too young to start retiring, especially some people who are just starting in the workforce. Then they're young, they don't need to think about that. It's way years down the road, but you'll be surprised. So this is an area that's going to be very problematic. I am been working and doing some research on it, and I'm going to be doing my first webinar, and it's going to be about retirement. It's titled, I wrote an ebook using the tools that I've learned from MLSP, and the ebook that I've written is titled Three Essentials for Successful Retirement. Oh my goodness, the bugs are over here. So I'm going to do the webinar. I was going to do it this week, but I don't know if you've been watching the news lately. There's Hurricane Florence that's kicking up her heels, and I know some school systems are closed in the Tidewater area, and it's supposed to even come up here to Richmond. So thinking about power outages, and I don't know. Rather than being stressed thinking about that, I'll wait until after all of this, and I will do my webinar showing you how I made the ebook.
I like what Rolita said.
Oh, Rolita. Okay, I'm sorry.
You're never too young to look into retirement.
That's right.
That's true.
Thank you, Rolita. That is so important. And people, that saying, out of sight, out of mind, they don't think about it until it's right up on them. And if you are in the age range between 45 and 54, you pre-retire. It's right there. It's at your door. And if you're working 2-3 jobs trying to make ends meet, and I was listening to a report, I'm going to put it on my page. It was West Virginia. The school teachers out there in West Virginia,
Poor souls.
they've so many cuts in the programs. They don't have enough to make their ends meet. One teacher who was, she worked 3 jobs. I mean, 3 jobs trying to make ends meet. One job before school driving for Uber. She's a wedding planner. And then during the day, yeah. So, people are going to be hurting. And if they're not hurting now, it's going to be worse. So we have to take precautions. We have to plan. And the webinar that I'm going to do will address many of those. Oh, before I forget, I had some questions that you can ask yourself. 1, do you know how much you will need to be able to retire? Do you know now how much are you going to need? So I'm going to address that. Have you had your free debt analysis? Is a free debt savings analysis done? And I believe I've placed a link in there so that you can have it done. What are your passions? Retirement is not all about finances. It's about your passions. Okay, let's see. Bobby. Good morning, Bobby. Okay, all right. Bobby says, how does this apply to a Christ-supported ministry? I'm glad you asked that question. Because some of my fellow believers, we have faith in God. We believe in God, and He can do all things. But He's also give us brains, right? Mm-hmm. Because, we can just say, oh, well, God is going to take care of me and just leave everything. God has given us brains. He's placed people in our path to help us. And we can't just sit back and fold our hands and say, well, I'm a Christian and God is going to take care of me. Yes, He will take care of you. When your back is against the wall and you have no options, you don't know which way to turn. Yes, God is there, and He gives us. I'm sorry.
You're fine.
Okay. Yes. Good morning, Janet. Glad that you can join us this morning. He gives us.
Tiger.
Okay. Yes. So He gives us brains. He places people in our path. And how does this relate to Christian ministry? You were going to say something about that, too, Roland.
Yeah. Well, when you do ministry, as you know, it takes planning. Because bringing souls to Christ is a very, very serious thing. And so some of the same techniques that we use and strategies that you can use for retirement and that type of thing, you can also incorporate it in the ministry.
That's right.
Yeah, let's not do things half done. We're going to give all to Christ.
That's right. And ministry, it takes funding,
Mm-hmm.
to spread the gospel. you need to be able to mail stuff. You know, you need to be able to maybe do Bible studies. You can send out those different tracts, you know, and there needs to be a fund, a resource to be able to do some of those things. But if you don't have a fund, you're limited to all that you can do.
Yeah.
So that's how I see it.
I
Hi.
want to be effective.
Yes. Good morning, Jerome.
I like that last name.
Yes. All right. So I was talking about the questions that I'm going to address at the webinar. What are your passions? You know, what makes you happy? You know, what makes you feel alive? And for me, I know there is more to me than just retiring and sitting with my arms folded. There are people who are hurting. There are people who are trying to find ways to support their families. There's people who want to maybe leave a legacy for their children, which is it's more than just finances.
Yeah.
They maybe want to pass down their traditions and the practices and customs. You know, so there's a lot that goes into.
Also, too, I'm thinking about the ministry question. You may want to leave something for the church. You know, you may have property or assets or whatever, you know, that could further the ministry.
That's right.
But you can't do that unless you have, you know,
have something.
Thorough planning.
And here's another question. How can you make a difference? It could be a small difference or it could be something big. You know, how can you make a difference in the lives of those around you? All right, so I'm going to address some of these questions in the webinar, the free webinar that I'm going to be doing on Tuesday, September, I think it's the 17th, 18th, September. I placed it in the description. And I thought I'll wait until after the storm, you know, where people kind of can get themselves back together, and then I'm going to do that. Good morning, Sipo. I'm sorry, I just been going on talking. Good morning, Sipo. I can wave to you. And
Tuesday's the 18th.
Tuesday's the 18th. Okay. And did I miss anybody else? Good morning, Bobby. Yes. Thank you for that question. Stacy, good morning. And Vale, good morning to you. Thank you for joining us. Hi, Jack. And okay, I'm trying to wave to everybody so make sure I didn't miss anyone. So Roland and I are going to finish our walk. It's about a mile to this spot here, so it's going to be a mile back. So we're going to end up doing at least 2 miles, unless you want to do more, Roland.
I got to cut some grass when we get back.
Yes, yeah, because we're expecting a lot of rain. We're expecting a lot of rain today. So thank you for joining us this morning. We will come back again on,
Weather permit.
Weather permitting, we'll be back tomorrow again at 8. Thank you. And if this message resonated with you in any way, please share it out. It may not be for you, but it might be for somebody that you do know. At some point or another, we all get to this point. Well, not everybody, because some people don't make it to retirement, but it's something that needs to be thought of, to be considered, to be planned for. It doesn't just happen. Anything else you want to say before we sign off?
No.
That's it. All right. Thank you again, and you be blessed, and make today awesome, make it powerful, and see you tomorrow.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye-bye.